Welcome to Hinterland. This is a winery that my wife and I started back in '03. We planted grapes in 2005. We actually planted some cider apples in 2004. We found in a nursery up in Uxbridge that had some stock of some English cider varietals. But having no idea what we were doing, that orchard died fairly quickly. We planted grapes in 2005. We had some experience with grapes and winemaking, and our first vintage for wine was in 2007. We stopped making still wine altogether in '09. We have a couple little still wines here and there, but in the larger scheme of things, we're only making sparkling wine. I think 2% of our production is still, the rest is all bubbles.
And then you progressed to cider a little bit a while ago.
Yeah.
Why was that?
It was the first time we made it. It was in 2010, and we had a bit of a short crop, and we needed some inventory. And the apples seemed to do fine, and we had the tools and techniques to do it. So our first ciders were Charmat and traditional method. So knowing a little bit about CO2 and all that stuff, and having the tools to do it, we decided to make those two styles the first couple of years.
And now you're offering, what do you have right now available for the public?
We have two ciders at the moment. We work with a local orchard. We work with two local orchards. One is called Campbell's Orchards, and they also have a little cidery going now. The kids are doing it, which is awesome. And so I'm not able to get the same amount as I used to get from there, but so we work with Hall's Orchards out in Brockville. Right now, what we have is a Northern Spy heavy cider, and we'll make a cherry cider as well. Sort of the two. We have some traditional method ciders that are aging at the moment, and it's become quite a bit of a bigger part of what we do. Mostly having to do with the fact that the pressure to process apples is a lot less. So I can basically clear my decks of a wine vintage, and then I can then take a look at cider, which is gives me some wiggle room in October, November, December.
And we're seeing such a large takeoff of cider. I mean, the number of cideries have tripled in the last couple of years. Starting early into it, have you noticed any sort of difference in pickup and who's interested in what they're asking for?
Yeah, well, our first year we made 200 cases of cider, and we're up to about 800 now. And it sells quickly, and I think there's a lot of interest. On some days I'll outsell my wines 4-1, which can be a little annoying, but it's also it also says something about what people want to drink these days. I like it because it's lighter. I mean, if I know we're on a podcast, but if people could see the environment, it's kind of a nice place to have a cider. We work premium as much as we can. I don't think we'll ever can cider. Not that that's not premium, but it's just the nature of what we do and how we sort of approach wine. We approach cider the same way. Always dry. Pretty naturally made, no additions whatsoever. Sometimes commercial yeast. But other than that, no sulfur, no nothing, and and if it's a little cloudy, well, I think that's the spirit of cider. A lot of people will come in and say, "Oh, what apple?" or whatever, or what and I get an idea from the orchard what's in there, kind of thing. But I think the spirit of cider is just sort of having that orchard mix, making it sort of country style. Rather than sort of being very fussy about exactly what's in there and what percentages and all that stuff. It's traditionally they're made of drops, right? So we try and take that spirit when we're making stuff.
Yeah, we're going up to Campbell's and seeing the crew at Apple Falls
cool.
in a little bit.
Yeah.
And Halls, we had they're probably my favorite. Standard apple cider with a non-hard alcoholic. We had a couple of theirs.
Yeah, they're good people. They're looking to do something a little bigger. I don't know. We've had a couple conversations, and I don't know if this should even get in the podcast, but we've had a couple conversations. I can't help them. I'm busy, but I think they want to move in that direction too. Probably owing to the fact that it's becoming a lot more popular. We've got this beautiful orchard, old trees and stuff, and and then the juice we get from them is amazing. So.
And we've noticed that that's been sort of the theme of the last year. 2 years ago, there's a lot of challenges with distribution options and so on for the organizations that were, say, trying to get into the LCBO or whatnot. Last year was quantity available. This year, we're noticing that the availability of the fruits are becoming more and more of a challenge because the popularity is rising.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to sort of look at and see how the perspectives are in different areas. What would you say is your biggest challenge when it comes to producing or selling?
We make so little. I mean, the farmers markets have been really good for us in terms of selling. Selling is not. I'm not going to say it's not an issue. I mean, you always have to work at it and stuff. We have, but we're in Prince Edward County, and we get an unreasonable amount of press here and stuff, and we have traffic. We've built traffic over the last 4 or 5 years of being open as a winery. It's been easy to slide that into the portfolio. I am a little afraid of losing my apple suppliers. Like I said, I get a little less from Campbell's than I would have in the past. I like the people there, and I want them to do well and stuff. Like, we help them with equipment now and again, and and they help us with apples, and it's a bit of a trade. But I know that what they're doing, they're gonna expand to the point where they won't be able to. And I feel like you won't. I mean, like, usually when you sort of run into August, you're getting max. You know what I mean? That's what's left, right? So we're trying to sort of, in order to protect ourselves, we're trying to sort of front end load the cider at the beginning of the year, so that we're getting a nice orchard mix. We're getting some variety in there. But yeah, I think it'll be tougher and tougher. So you gotta keep your relationships, pay your bills. You know what I mean? Be nice to people, and hopefully they keep you around.
And we've noticed and been told that it's very communal in the sense of, especially in the county here, that people are willing to help out and go the extra mile and find that corn. Is that sort of one of the areas that you find that reasons why this is where you call home?
Yeah, I mean, especially in the early days. I mean, I was just speaking with Ryan. I know you went and visited him, and he's going to change the face of cider in Ontario. Like, his stuff is amazing, and it's forcing me to do better. Not kidding. And like, I was chatting with him the other day, tasting his stuff, and I was just like, wow, how did you and why and what, And he's like, oh, Popeye, and I'll take you through some stuff and tell you what I think I know, kind of thing. And there's, as long as there's a market for it, and as long as it's a growing category, I think it's similar to craft beer. There's going to be a point on where the bubble is going to burst. I don't think that's happened for cider yet. And as long as and for me anyway, my personal approach to things, is as long as we're working to be better at it as opposed to more of it. I think that there's tons of room.
You mentioned the beer, and if you don't want to answer the question, that's fine. I remember when you stopped by here last year, there was a craft beer operation going here. Changes?
Yeah, we just decided to focus on wine. I mean, that's what we know, and cider for that matter. It's what we know. It's our world. I had trouble, and it's nothing against but I just, I've been in the wine business. My wife and I've been in the wine business for so long. We know who everybody is. We know where to get stuff. We knew, where our suppliers are and all that stuff. And we're having challenges with that with beer, and that it was just, it felt the whole program felt a bit schizophrenic. And that I was just kind of, I was in a lot of different places, as was my wife. So we just said, let's just focus on wine and cider, and do what we know, as opposed to, taking a stab at everything. Why wouldn't I just, why wouldn't I get into vodka? You know what I mean? And so it's a question of focusing, and I'm getting a bit older, and my kids are getting older, and starting a new business takes a lot of time, and so we just decided, let's just. Our staff is all set up for it. We all know what we're doing. It's just easier that way.
You have a gorgeous facility here. Can you tell me a little bit about what's available as you go forward?
Yeah, we run a full menu in the summertime. It's May now, and we started up last week. We run a full menu Friday through Monday, light snacks, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll keep that going until October for sure. And then we'll keep the tasting room open all winter for 11 to 6 every day. We're always open.
And you got room for how many people and some other little side things?
48 seats in the restaurant proper. I don't know, we can put another 50 in there if they want and stuff. A couple seats around. We have some picnic tables. It's very casual. Very casual. Good products, casual approach.
So you've got the two main ones that we were looking at here. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're offering?
Right now, this is Campbell's Orchards. Like I said, he told me it was Northern Spy Heavy, which tends to make beautifully aromatic ciders. I like making a cherry cider. I really like what the acid does to, with sour cherries. And so those are the two that are going on now. We're going to refine our packaging a little bit as we sort of grow into it and realize how important it is to the winery. That we're going to sort of refine. I mean, the packaging's not bad, but we're going to we're going to do more for it. Looking at the LCBO, we have an application in the LCBO for the cherry cider, so we'll make a lot more of that if we can. And again, subject to availability of good apples. Yeah.
And where can people get more information about you, or maybe get a hold of the product right now?
Hinterlandwine.com. Yeah, it's all there. We ship, we deliver. We'll find it. We're in farmers markets every Saturday, and then the ciders are always there. So I can't remember which ones and when, but yeah, we're always at a farmer market every Saturday, somewhere in the city, or you just come out to the farm.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure's mine.